Good morning, YTPC. Saturday morning. And we've got a little camera girl behind the camera. She's doing the filming today. So it's tiny little Miss Trucking Piper. And we're going to be showing you our Christmas cake. And we make this every year. Made it in November, so it's got time to gather all its flavours together, ready for Christmas. And we won't cut it, possibly Christmas Eve. Because as soon as we cut it, Mrs. Trucking won't, and I have to ration her. So let's have a look. So it's been wrapped up in its Christmas tin. I think it was the second week in November, second or third week in November I made it. So flour, all your dried fruits, cherries, figs, prunes, all soaked in pork for about 24 hours before we mix it up. Brown sugar, get rid of that. And there she is. Beautiful. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to be marzipaning it. So we put a layer of marzipan all over. And then before we ice it, we will leave it to dry before you ice it, once the marzipan's on. Most of that paper off, I'll just leave one underneath. To get the marzipan to stick, we'll be putting a layer of apricot jam on. And to put the apricot jam on, we have the special knife. And this always reminds me of my grandma's knife, what she had. But hers was sharpened that many times, it was indented, I think. Well, this just helps the marzipan to stick. Sunk in the middle a bit. It's quite hard to get that. So while I do this, are we back?
Yeah.
So we have jammed it, which will make the marzipan stick. Now I do cheat, get marzipan out of the packet. You can make it yourself, but why bother? So we've got 2 blocks of marzipan, so we like marzipan. And while I roll this out, we'll be back in a bit. Are we back?
Yeah.
Right then. Got my specs on now. So we've rolled out the sides. Didn't want to bore you to death. And we're going to put that on there like that. Beautiful. And then we're going to roll out the top. And we're going to get messy while we're doing it. Now, if you've never made a Christmas cake, I advise you to make one. Start them traditions, start them memories. You don't want this stuff too thick because it's quite sugary. Mrs. Chucky likes a thin layer. This is what the build up to Christmas is all about, because it's over in a flash, innit? Once Christmas Day's done, that's it, innit? Game over. It's all about the build up. And then later on, the little ones go into a pantomime with cubs. Beautiful. And once this is marzipaned up, it'll go back in the tin to dry out for a couple of weeks. And then we'll ice it. All of the adverts are playing there. Now, this is YouTube shouldn't cancel that because it's a YouTube doofer. And then we can make some snowmen. And that is add to marzipan, your cake. Back. We're back. What's weird is when you've got another camera person, you can't see you, Sam, and you don't know what's going off. But we're back to with Christmas cake. So it's Christmas cake, part 2. And in here, we've got the 965 latakia mixture. You're going on an angle. So it's Christmas cake part 2. 7 days of pressing and then 7 days of sitting. So each of the 7 days, first of all, just a little tighten. And the 965, I was finding a bit dull. So I've added some latakia, as you're aware from a previous video. Wow. So we're going to see if it comes out alright, and it looks alright. I put my specs on, because the older I'm getting, the worse the vision is getting. Now these pasta presses, which was advised to me by Yanez, Pipes and Tobacco, absolutely brilliant. Look at that, that's coming out beautiful. Oh. So if you've got a blend that you're not particularly, you find a bit dull, or you find a bit, put put something in it you like. Give it a try before you press it, little sampley bit, so you're not ruining it completely, which is what I did with this. It was like, yeah, I've got that bang on. I think this is my third cake now. And there it is. I got the moisture level pretty bang on. That's the one thing you've got to be careful of, I think. That was a bit of advice from Yanez. So I dried it out a little bit more. But that has come out. Perfect. Chris, that's the baking parchment. One on each end. And then in the bottom of there, I've just cut a jam jar lid. Obviously to stop the tobacco coming through the holes. So that just seals it up and stop it from sticking to that. A little bit of baking parchment, greaseproof paper in there, and then once the tobacco's stuffed in, press it down, open it up, put the rest in, press it down, open it up, put the rest in. And I've been pressing around 200 grams. And then on top of that, once you've done that, a little bit of baking parchment on there, and then press it up. Each day, turn it a couple of times just to tighten it up. Then after 7 days, leave it for 7 days, and we end up with Christmas cake number 2. There we go, guys. Have a great build up to Christmas. Look after them families. See you later.